Hello, my name is Breven. Will you please do me the honor of introducing yourself and your project?
Sure, absolutely. Breven, thank you very much
Mhm.
for inviting me, first of all, to the festival and taking the time to speak with me. My name is Kevin Noa Piñeiro. I'm a Spanish filmmaker that is indie filmmaker, smartphone indie filmmaker, I think would be more accurate,
Yeah.
that is currently based in Poland.
Mhm.
And the project that I submitted to your festival is La Voz de Galicia, The Voice of Galicia,
Yeah.
which is an observational documentary.
Yeah. Beautiful. And I enjoyed so much sitting with this grandpa character, right? Like getting to be with him, right? I really enjoy this style of filmmaking, this style of, observational storytelling and getting to be a voyeur in someone else's world, of course, through the position of the filmmaker, of course, always. But it's still such a wonderful way to get to know the world, to get to know people and humans and connect. And so I would love to know more about the story from your perspective and how it came to be.
Sure. Just to start with, I would say that even if maybe it doesn't look like it, it was quite an improvised project.
Yeah.
Just to put you in context, the short film, the documentary short film, it is called La Voz de Galicia, The Voice of Galicia, because it was shot in this region in Spain, Galicia, which
Yeah.
is in the north west side of Spain.
Mhm.
And this is the place where my grandparents used to spend half of the year. They have two houses. They have like a flat where they are living close to most of family, to my parents, to
Yeah.
my cousins, to my uncle, aunt, all
Yeah.
these kind of people. And they spend half of the year there in this second house. No, it's like a summer house,
Yeah.
like a traditional Mediterranean place, as you can see, lots of
Yeah.
sun, lots of weather,
Yeah.
nature. It's the place, let's say, to relax.
Yeah.
And I like spending their time as well. So from time to time, even though I'm living in Poland for like 8 years or so, I like going there for summer, just
Yeah.
enjoying the time with them, relaxing and so on. And I thought, I think that I have my perspective is that anything can potentially become a film project.
Mhm.
So, I think that sometimes we take for granted the places that we are, where we are. Sometimes we
Sure.
are thinking that, oh, maybe I need an amazing film setup just to make a movie. But
Yeah.
I think that not necessarily. If you have the good eye and if you can kind of realize of the small details, I think you can still make something beautiful and something with
Yeah.
impact. So I thought, why not to, show to people how it is, let's say, like a daily routine of my grandpa. My grandpa
Yeah.
is a traditional, let's say, Mediterranean man,
Yeah.
86 currently, luckily very healthy. And
Mm.
as you can see, he enjoys a lot, like just the farming, taking care of the land.
Yeah.
And I thought, why not to ask a few questions, maybe a little bit more existential questions. Actually,
Yeah.
my goal was to try to catch a sense of nostalgia, I would say, through the
Yeah.
questions. Just reflecting a bit on the past and his thoughts. How does he see the life? And that's why it is named also La Voz de Galicia, the voice of Galicia, the short film,
Yeah.
no? Because it is the voice of the experienced man.
Mhm.
And I would like actually with that, to reflect also a little bit on the voice of the elders. I think sometimes, unfortunately, we kind of ignore the voice of the experience, and I think they have lots of things to say. We just need to be prepared to
Yeah.
listen
Mhm.
and to and to get a piece of that life that they have lived, no? Because
Yeah.
we the younger, we don't have that much experience, and we certainly don't know how life looked in the
Mhm.
past. And I
Yeah.
think sometimes they are showing lots of wisdom with them answers and with them life memories. So I
Yeah.
try to show that, plus showing the beauty of the Mediterranean
Yeah.
weather and Mediterranean landscape and everything. So I hopefully made something beautiful for
Yeah,
you all.
absolutely. And so tell me, how did you get into this filmmaking style? When did you start? Tell me a little bit more about your journey to these stories.
Sure. This actually was my third short film, if I'm not mistaken. I was shooting more or less at the same time another fictional short film, but by that time I just had one
Yeah.
one project finished. It was my first documentary short film. I have never done anything before. Actually, my filmmaking style, it is very minimalistic because I shoot my short films using a smartphone. Actually, I just started with my old smartphone because I didn't have any other equipment, and super minimalistic. Right now, currently, I updated my smartphone, so I have a little bit better equipment, and step by step, I start getting gear and those sort of things. But in a way, maybe it is not the best gear, but at the same time, I try to adapt to what I have. And I like also the flexibility that gives you shooting, for example, with the smartphone. No? So in this case, as I mentioned before, it was quite an improvised project. So I just had the original idea. I tried to make it very natural. I wanted to make it look like realistic. No, I think that was very important. And maybe perhaps I was a bit inspired by this kind of filmmaking that it is done by filmmakers like Terrence Malick, perhaps, trying to catch up, trying to show the small details, a little bit the zoom in philosophy, focusing in the small details. Sometimes it is just a flower or just a bee passing by, just the small details, the sun hitting my granddad in that specific angle, this sort of details. And I would say that there was also another movie that maybe I would say that I partially got inspired by, Straight Story by David Lynch, one of my favorite movies, beautiful, lovely movie. Also with a similar protagonist, right? An old granddad. And once again, a small story, simple story, but beautiful, no? And as I mentioned, it was quite an improvised project, and I think it shows also the possibilities of the filmmaking. No, once again, take what you have, try to see the beauty in the small details. I insist in the small details there is a lot of beauty. I think that it is just out there just to shoot. And then I was just improvising a bit, even also during the production process as well, because sometimes it was like, okay, where he is, I need to find out where he is. Sometimes he's working at the land, sometimes he's maybe arguing with my grandma, sometimes he's just resting. So I wanted just to show that in the most naturalistic way, and then just ask a few questions and, a little bit magic with edit, and boom, there you go.
Yeah, amazing. So tell me, what are you working on next?
Okay, actually, since then, I have done several short films. This year has been very productive for me, to be honest. I have done 3 short films so far. Actually, the last one was submitted just in my YouTube channel last month. And I'm currently working in 2 more. Another one that has another person from my family as a protagonist. This is going to be a tribute to my great grandma, a woman that lived 102 years.
Amazing.
So this is going to be a very emotional. Actually, to be honest with you, I am struggling a little bit with the editing because, it feels a little bit too emotional, and I just feel touched myself while editing, which feels a little bit weird, but at the same time, it is beautiful, I guess.
Beautiful.
And I am right now also working in the edit of my biggest project so far, a short film, a short drama film about the religious fanatism. This is a topic that I'm recently a bit obsessed by, because I can see in the world that there is a lot of struggle around religion and around, the speech of hate around the spiritual world. I think the spirituality is not a bad thing, but as everything, you need to take it for something positive, not to create harm or hate. So I'm working on something that a little bit shouts about that, a little bit criticize this part of the society, a little bit a tough movie. I'm right now in the edit process, so hopefully it will be released maybe by early next year. I don't know, we will see how it goes. And I have plenty of new ideas. I am developing a couple of more screenplays, so I have a lot of ideas and a lot of things going on. So many things at once, actually.
Amazing. That's wonderful. And I also I adore the legacy you're leaving your family in making this art with the different generations and the different people in your life, right? That's absolutely beautiful to be able to share that, and then also, you know, find an audience for it in the world, because it connects other people with their families and the others, you know, stories that they may have. So it's really wonderful. This is wonderful work. Tell me, what has the festival circuit been like? What's it like sharing the film and audiences or feedback? Is that supportive for you as a filmmaker, especially when you're telling such intimate stories? I would like to know more about that.
Sure. Regarding to the festival circuit, I would say that at least from my experience, I have experienced some lights and shadows, let's say.
Sure.
Maybe it is out of ignorance, because at first I didn't know much about how this world works, because
Yeah.
you know, the filmmaking, it has such a lot of steps from the pre-production to the distribution part.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I do everything on my own, so you know, I absolutely everything on my own. So I'm constantly trying to find new ways to get things done and to get things
Yeah.
shown. So far, this year has been gladly surprising for me, because actually, La Voz de Galicia, The Voice of Galicia, I would say my most simple short film, has been quite successful in the festival circuit. I have been selected for a few festivals so far. Even I won an award
Amazing.
in a student film festival
Congratulations.
in the US. Thank you very much. It was a really big surprise. I had the chance also to make another interview as well in a podcast. So it has been really good. Although with some festivals, I think maybe some filmmakers, other filmmakers have experienced the same. The problem is a little bit the lack of transparency, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you are just submitting to the festival, you don't really get the feedback, or the feedback that you get is not very clear. Sometimes your film has been selected, but then you don't know nothing about how has it been going, especially if you have not been able to attend the festival, especially if the festival is taking place in a different part in the world, far from where you are located. So far, I would say big surprises, very beautiful surprises, and I like taking that. I think I try to be optimistic. I think I'm an optimistic person. And the bad thing, maybe I would say, are those kind of things. But as I said, I don't have that much experience, perhaps. I have been submitting films via Film Freeway, which I find an amazing platform. It is great, I think, to connect with people, to see the work of other people. I have seen in some festivals amazing works of filmmakers that I didn't know that exist. So it's absolutely great. Some festivals also, luckily, I had the chance to, like with you, to speak with some organizers of festivals and just to connect with some people and to see how they organize things. So it is very interesting also to see what is going on. And as I said, I like taking the positive things that are available for me, and just to catch up all the opportunities to connect with people, speak with people, and have a nice time as well, which is important, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the shadows that you speak of, right, as you call them, are very common, and I struggle with how much lack of transparency there is, but also how, I mean, if I can use the term right, I find it very predatory in regards to, you know, taking advantage of creators who are, you know, just trying to share their work in the world. And there are a lot of businesses that are successful based on that desire to share, but not in a way that's necessarily helpful to creators. So I find myself, because I feel like I personally, you know, apologize often in regards to having been a part of the problem, just because the system exists, so you sort of plug in and then you are doing things the way that they've been done, but it's not necessarily the best, right? So I am very much in this, like currently, I am very much trying to learn from the filmmakers how we can do better in regards to whatever your respective mission is. And for me specifically, it's for us, it's supporting creators and championing them. And I'm trying to figure out within our festival, within our capacity, how do we do that most meaningfully so that it's effective to you and your respective goals? So I'm trying to listen to the filmmakers in regards to what is working, what isn't working, so that we can spend our capacity in the most meaningful and intentional way. Don't get me wrong, it's wonderful to have like the festival party. That's great. I've been a part of that. That's been my work for many, many years. But is that the most helpful when there are so many of them, right? Is that the most helpful for creators on their respective journey? And how can we be more effectively supporting the artist and the filmmaker? So I'm very much in a learning space and an unlearning space, so that we can do better to champion the work that you're doing. Because I think what you're doing and sharing these intimate stories and these people and their lives and your perspective on them, it has so much value in the world, right? So my dream is to be able to champion you and the artist that I advocate for, so that you can keep doing the work. And so then I am trying to figure out what is my position, so that I can be most effectively supporting.
That is actually a challenge, I guess, from your side as well, right?
Yeah,
Just to
yeah,
find out the way, no?
yeah,
Because everyone, as I can see in the film industry, from what I can see and from what I know,
yeah,
there is a huge difference, right, between the independent filmmakers. We are not going to even to consider filmmakers like me or many others, that we are basically working on a zero budget
yeah,
in every sense, with the big production companies, right? That they
yeah,
are moving the millions and they are having the big projects. So it is already a big challenge to create with the low budget. So
yep,
just to have the chance to have a space, as you mentioned, no, to
yeah,
share the work and to be visible for others, and to have a festival that also bets for you and that gives you the opportunity, no, to show your face. I think that it is something that it can be very rewarding both sides, because
yeah,
for filmmakers, you have to make us feel unique. For filmmakers like me, just to have the opportunity to be in a festival, it feels like you are, I don't know, a star or something like that. No, just to have the opportunity to that someone is watching and appreciating what you are doing.
yeah,
And from the side of the festival, I think could be very enriching, because you never know what kind of works can be out there, and you
yeah,
can advocate for, right, as you
yeah,
mentioned. So I think that could be really, really, really helpful and really nice for both sides.
yeah. Yeah, I believe so much in the work, right? And the work, the art. I say those words interchangeably, because I know the art is so much work to do. To finish a film is a great deal of work. So you are doing the work, and I believe in the power of I believe in the power of the medium, the film. I believe it has value in the world. So then I'm trying to figure out how to be the most effective champion for more of it to continue in a more regenerative fashion, not just sustainable, but actually regenerative, so that you can continue to build on what you are doing and grow as an artist and grow as a storyteller. So please know that we are here, and I see you and I see your work, and I look forward to you sharing more in the future.
Sure, sure. Thank you very much. I think that we must be positive. Like I always say, you need to always need to look at the bright side. For me, one of the great things, as you can see, I'm a smartphone filmmaker, so I do everything with my smartphone.
Yeah.
I think the democratization of the cinema is a reality.
Yeah.
In the past, everything was shot on film. The gear was very expensive, was
Yeah.
difficult to get. Nowadays, we have the access to come on in our pockets. We have a film camera. I always say that you have a film camera in your pocket, and you just need to have the eye, a slight knowledge, and a good story to tell.
Yeah.
And if you have people that can give you a hand in this sense, I think that that is great. We can
Yeah.
make great things together.
Amazing. Kevin, thank you so much for your film and for sharing and for this time as well. I greatly appreciate it. And I honestly, I look forward to more, and I hope continued conversation in the future.
Sure. Thank you very much for your time, Bremen. And I hope that we will have the chance to speak again anytime soon. And as I said, thank you very much for your time and for the work that you are doing. I appreciate the effort and the sacrifice. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I appreciate that.